A navigation coordinator is essential for iOS development, orchestrating seamless navigation between screens and simplifying complex logic. It streamlines code, enhances readability, and promotes modular design, enabling developers to focus on crafting intuitive interfaces and robust features while it handles the intricate navigation flow effectively. So, today, let's build one. Today we are going to create a mini navigation coordinator. This video is sponsored by a navigation coordinator from my store. It's at store.rebeloper.com/navigation-coordinator. More on that later in the video. But today we are going to build a mini one, so you know the advantages, and hopefully you are going to use this mini coordinator inside your applications. So what I have done here is just started a brand new Xcode project. Didn't add anything, didn't move anything. It's just a brand new Xcode project with its content view. So to navigate the way, we are going to need a destination view. So let's start off with that. Let's create a new file, SwiftUI view next, and destination view. There we go. Let's create that. And what I'm going to do over here is just going to say hello destination view. And right off the bat, let's learn something new, how to dismiss a view. Well, some of you may know, some of you may not, but this is really, really powerful. It's the environment. So add environment, /dot, and choose the one with the dismiss. Private var dismiss is going to be called. So yeah, this is how we dismiss the presented view inside the navigation stack. So let's add that as a button. So let's have a V-stack over here. And let me just add a simple button with a title of dismiss with a capital D. It's preferred. And then let's just add dismiss right over here. So dismiss, and 2 parentheses to initialize that. And this is how we are going to dismiss our destination view. Really, really nice. Navigation Coordinator revolutionizes iOS navigation, simplifying complex logic and enhancing code quality. With seamless screen transition management, it empowers developers to focus on crafting engaging user experiences and innovative features, making app development faster, more efficient, and more enjoyable. All of this for iOS 14 Plus and for all Apple devices, even the Vision Pro. The link is down in the description. Now, we want to have some sort of a coordinator, and for that we are going to set up some steps. And for first, we need to create some sort of a navigation step. Remember in the sheet or the full screen cover view modifier, you kind of have a step there. You are just triggering a Boolean value from false to true. Now we are going to do kind of the same, but we are going to also include the navigation link. Not exactly the navigation link, but feel free to stay tuned till the end of the video to know how I'm going to do this. So next file will be the navigation stack. So let's create that navigation step. There we go. Let's create it. Let's import SwiftUI, of course. And this will be a class, navigation step. And as of iOS 17, I'm just targeting here iOS 17, but also you can just have this pre-iOS 17 as an observable object. I'm just going to add an observable right over here, so we can have this as an observed class, basically. So what are we going to do right over here? Well, we kind of want to say, okay, navigation step dot present or navigation step dot push, or cover for the full screen cover. So for that we want to toggle some of these variables. So let's create them. Var is presented equals false. This will be linked to the sheet. Let's duplicate this 2 times, and for the full screen cover I'm going to say is covered, and for the link type of navigation I'm going to say is pushed. So we are going to toggle these. So let's create some functions for that. Func present, and then is presented dot toggle. So these are just convenience functions for us to use later on. It will be really, really nice to see that you're just going to have to access these. So cover, and then is covered dot toggle, and then push is pushed dot toggle, is pushed dot toggle, and that's it. We are going to use this observable later on in our views. So next up, remember when you had, again, the dot sheet, and it was kind of like with the is presented was on a toggle of a Boolean value. Well, we almost have something like that with the push type of navigation, and that is called the navigation destination, is presented, and destination. But there is a missing thing over there. That is the on dismiss. So whenever we dismiss the presented view, we want to be notified. So for that, we need to kind of massage the navigation destination is presented with the destination a little bit. So let's create a view modifier, an actual view modifier, and then we're going to have an extension on the view for that. So let's create this inside a new file. So it will be a Swift file, and I'm going to call this navigation push view modifier. Okay, let's create that. Of course, import SwiftUI is the first thing that we do, and this will be a view modifier. So let's use the one that Xcode is just giving us, and here we are going to have the name of the struct navigation push view modifier. I'm going to remove the preview. We don't need this in this tutorial, and also all of this padding. Okay, so what do we need right over here? Well, first of all, we need a destination. We are going to feed it the destination. Remember, there will be an is presented, an on dismiss, and a destination. So we are going to have a destination of type view, because this needs to be added as an actual completion. And by the way, a view builder type of completion, so var destination, and this will be our completion right over here, destination. And we can't add in here view, that's the protocol. Therefore, the destination is of type view. That's right. Okay, what else do we need? Well, we talked about the is presented. Because we are going to bind that state variable, we need to have a binding right over here. So binding var is presented of type bool. Okay, that's one. And finally, we want that on dismiss. And that on dismiss with the sheet view modifiers looks like this. So on dismiss, it is completion, but it's an optional one. And it looks like this, void. So basically, we are not passing anything around, and we are not expecting anything. It's just an action that we can call whenever we'd like to. Okay, so now that we have all of these, we are just going to be fed all of these things. Let's talk about that view modifier that is kind of resembling to the dot sheet and dot full screen camera view modifier, and that is the dot navigation destination, and not with the for, not with the item, but with the is presented. Okay, so with is presented, we are going to just bind is presented right over there with the $, of course, is presented. And the destination, well, just pass along the destination because it's a completion of type view. Great. Now, what about the actual, the on dismiss? How can we kind of hack this? Well, it's pretty straightforward once you know it. We want to listen to this binding. And how can we do that? Well, it's an on change, and is presented. Come on, is presented. And we are going to have an old value, a new value. We don't care about the old value. What we care about is when this is presented is set to false. When that occurs, we want to trigger this on dismiss completion. So if not new value, so when this is going to be basically false, go ahead and trigger the on dismiss. And this is an optional, so I put the question mark over there before those two parentheses, before I initialize the completion. And that's it. It's really, really a cool trick, isn't it? So, okay, we have this navigation push view modifier. We don't want to use the dot modifier, view modifier to just access this. Let's create a cool extension on this. So let's create an extension on the view. And this will be, let's just call this push. So func push. And we are going to need to pass along this destination, again, destination of type view. Come on, of type view, there we go. And we are going to pass along the is presented, the destination, and the on dismiss. So let's type that out. Well, actually, I'm just going to have these two parentheses and there we go. Destination of type view. Yeah, we're not using just yet. So is presented, and that will be of type binding, bool. Okay, this we do need that. Next comes the on dismiss, because you know the sheet view modifier has the on dismiss as a second parameter. That's fine. The on dismiss again an optional, and then let's just move the arrow and the void. There we go. And we are going to set its default value to nil. So we might not use, if we don't want to, the on dismiss. If we want to, we will be able to. And finally, the destination at view builder destination. There we go. And then at escaping, and that completion of type destination. Okay, so that's our view modifier. Now we just simply call upon self, there we go, dot modifier, and then use this navigation, push view modifier with the is present, the destination, and on dismiss. Really nice. So we just pass this along. So we just go is presented, and then destination, and then on dismiss. Pretty cool. Now we will be able to use this. Let me just see. Yes, we do need to return something. So it says right over here, result of core modifier is unused. Well, you just append right over here an arrow and then some view. Basically, that's the whole point of a view extension. It's going to return some point of view with some modifiers. Great. Now it's time to create the navigation step modifier. Again, a view modifier because I want to put it in again as we did this as an extension on the view. So another view modifier. And we are going to use this one, by the way, inside that view modifier. So let's create a new file again, a Swift file. Next, that will be called navigation step modifier. Come on, modifier. There we go. Navigation step modifier. I typed it out correctly. Hooray! So now we just want to import SwiftUI again, and let's have our view modifier again, and let's name this as navigation step modifier. Great. Let me remove the junk that we are not going to need. Okay, so now we are going to have a little bit of different inputs right over here. We are going to have a navigation step again as a binding, an on dismiss, and a destination. So let me just copy out the destination and on dismiss, just like that. And maybe change the order. There we go. Well, we don't have a destination, so let's just name that destination of type view. There we go. And now I can just move this down. And then we are going to have a binding of the navigation step. Remember that observable that we created first in our tutorial? We are going to feed it right over here so we can present actually our sheet, full screen cover, or the push type of link notification, link view. Okay, so again, a binding at binding var navigation step of type navigation step. Okay, so now that we have all of our properties in place, let's just add these view modifiers like the sheet, there we go, sheet. We are going to use, of course, the one with is presented and on dismiss. So let's just see what we are going to add for this presented. Well, we are going to use that navigation step that we fed it. We are going to link that navigation step to the other view also, but for now, this is how we are presenting, just so you know. At $, navigation step dot is presented. We're going to select that one. On dismiss, well, we are going to have on dismiss, just like that. Content, well, that is the destination. Really cool, isn't it? Now, the same goes for the full screen cover. So let me just copy this out and paste it in there and just change it to full screen cover. The same initialization, the same approach. Now, what about the link type of a navigation? Well, it will be the one that we created earlier. Push is presented on dismiss and destination. Is presented, well, again, $ navigation step dot is pushed. Right over here, we want to change is presented to is covered. Really important because, we don't want to, we need different data changes for the different view modifiers. Okay, so this is pushed on dismiss, again, just on dismiss. And then destination is just the destination. Really cool, isn't it? So that's it. We have our view modifier. Now all we have to do is just mold it into an actual view extension. We're going to do the same like we did with the previous one. So we are going to have an extension view, and then we are going to have a function called navigation step, just like that. And then we are going to pass along, well, first of all, again, we need to make sure that the destination is of type view, because we are going to pass that as the destination. But for now, let's just start off with the navigation step, those properties that we were talking about. Binding of navigation step, there we go. Then the on dismiss, come on, with the two S's over there. An optional equals nil, and then let me just come back over here and add that completion void. There we go. And finally, we are going to add that destination. The same at view builder, destination at escaping, and then that completion. There we go. Type destination, and this will of course return some view. I'm going to add it right now so I don't forget that it needs to return something. And then self dot modifier, and the navigation step modifier right over here, just going to simply pass everything around. So navigation step on dismiss, and then the destination. Really, really cool. Now everything is in its place. It's time to go to the content view and, build or basically use it. So what are we going to do? Well, first of all, I want to add a list, and I'm going to add some buttons right over here. So let's have a button with a title of maybe sheet. And then here, on the tap of a button, we are going to present that sheet. And then let's duplicate this 2 times, and then this will be a cover, and then this will be maybe a push, or let's just name it a link. It's just going to push something, but it's not the navigation link, just so you know. It uses something like that, but it's not that. Okay, so how would we use this? Well, all you have to do is just, 2 steps. First, we want to actually create a navigation step at state private var, and this will be for the destination view. So a navigation step to the destination view. So let's name it properly. That will be destination view. Let's just call it step, so it's a little bit shorter. Destination view step, and that will be a navigation step. Where it is it? There we go. And now we have kind of the model of it, like the observable of it. We have it ready. Next up, we want to actually say where this navigation, or set rather, where this navigation step will go, the destination. And then we want to also, link it. And maybe just add on what should happen on the on dismiss. So we want to do this outside of a list or a lazy V stack, because we are using that, the link type of navigation, the navigation destination is presented, and the destination that has to be outside of a list or a lazy view, because we are going to, the navigation stack needs to access it. So even before that, let's just add that navigation stack on the content view, navigation stack, so we can just navigate in the, a stack type of manner. So let's come back over here and let's add the view modifier that we have created, the second one. So we just go navigation step, and yeah, I'm curious about the onDismiss also. We are just going to link this navigation step to the destination view step. So $, destination view step. onDismiss, let's just print out dismissed or whatever, whatever you like, and then the destination. We are going to have this destination view. And the cool part here is that you could just, move things around, move data, maybe a binding, whatever. You just link it right over here. So you may have, by the way, multiple navigation steps. All you have to do is just create another navigation step as a state variable and just, add it as a view modifier after, outside of a list or a lazy VStack, whatever, lazy view. Okay, so now it's time to use it, and it's really, really powerful. So we just go destination view step dot is presented or whatever. We're not going to use that one. We're going to use the one with present. How cool is that? When we are going to cover, so we just get destination view step dot cover. And also it works the same way with link type of navigation. So we just say push. Simple, really easy to use. And the good thing here is that this is an action. Whatever you want to do, you can do beforehand. Or if you don't want this to be on the tap of a button, well, you can add it on the non-appear or whatever. It's just really, really cool. It ticks a lot of boxes. So let me just see. Yeah, I'm just going to have that navigation stack right over here. So let's just test this out inside the canvas. So let's have a little bit more space. There we go. Canvas. Preview port, let's refresh that, resume it, and let's see how all of this magic happens. There we go. Sheet, we can dismiss it. Sheet, we can swipe down to dismiss it. Cover, of course, only the dismiss button works over here. And then link, dismiss button works, and also the back button works. Cool. Now, also, I did not show you, but all of these dismisses, the dismissed are going to be printed out in the console. So whenever we just dismissed, it's just going to do whatever you put on that completion. And that's it. Now, again, this is really, really cool, but it lacks some functionality like a deep linking or popping back to the root or popping back to a certain view. Also, it's, you have to set these up on the view level. It's fine, but there are 2 steps required over here, which is also great. But if you want an even more coordinator-like approach, then go ahead and check out Navigation Coordinator. The link is down in the description. And I will see you in the next one.